Prime Minister to interact with heads of Indian missions abroad and stakeholders in the commerce sector. Assam and Meghalaya government decides to resolve border differences in phase-wise manner. Khel Ratna Award renamed as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Tokyo Olympics, Indian grappler Bajrang Punia loses semi-finals to fight for bronze tomorrow. And National Handloom Day to be celebrated tomorrow. Mohpara village of Assam to be set up as craft village. Good evening, viewers. Welcome to the Northeast News Bulletin from the studios of DDK Guwahati. This is Jolly Khoikia Gogoi with the stories in detail. Prime Minister Narendra Modi will interact with heads of Indian missions abroad along with stakeholders of the trade and commerce sector of the country today through video conferencing. The event will mark a clarion call by the Prime Minister for local goes global, Make in India for the world. The purpose of the interaction is to provide a focused thrust to leverage and expand India's export and its share in global trade. The interaction also aims to energize all stakeholders towards expanding the export potential and utilizing the local capabilities to fulfill the global demand. Both houses of the parliament were adjourned for the day following continuous protests by the opposition parties over Pegasus, farm laws and other issues. In the Lok Sabha, when the House reassembled after the first adjournment, opposition members including the Congress, TMC and DMK again trooped into the well with placards and raised slogans. Amid ruckus, the Taxation Laws Amendment Bill 2021 and the Central Universities Amendment Bill 2021 were passed without any discussion. Likewise, in the Rajya Sabha, when the House met after the first adjournment at 12 noon, a same unruly situation was witnessed. With continued pandemonium, the presiding officer failed to run the question hour and thus adjourned the House for the day. In the Assam Assembly today, Health Minister Keshab Mohanto stated that 7 civil hospitals have ICU, 20 hospitals have special newborn care units, while other civil hospitals which will soon have emergency COVID response plan 2 are under process. He was answering a question put by MLA Bokhanto Das during the question hour. Meanwhile, during the cut motion discussion, MLA Bharat Naro said that as per the present Chief Minister and former Education Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma, indigenous languages should be the medium of education in the state, but however, the present Education Minister turns a blind eye to it. Taking part in the discussion, BJP MLAs Mrinal Saikia, Ramendranath Kolita and others stated that the current education scenario in the state is commendable and therefore refuted the allegations. Both the Assam and Meghalaya state governments have decided to resolve the differences on border issues in a phase-wise manner. Addressing the media in Guwahati after a meeting, Assam Chief Minister Himanta Biswa Sarma and his Meghalaya counterpart Conrad Sangma said that 6 areas have been identified to be resolved at priority basis. Both the states have decided to form 3 committees from each side headed by a cabinet minister for these 6 areas. The committee will submit a report within 30 days after making joint visits. Meanwhile, Sangma said the whole process will be conducted with 5 major factors, including historical evidences, ethnicity, administrative convenience, and local sentiments.
We found that it will be good if we start with 6 locations. Honorable Chief Minister of Meghalaya has already indicated what are those 6 locations. From Assam side, these are in Kachar district, Kamrup Metro and Kamrup district.
This is a follow-up, as you're aware, to the meeting that was held on the 23rd of July in Shillong. And we decided to meet after that meeting today on 6th of August in Guwahati. We're very happy that the meeting was a very constructive, a very positive meeting that we had. We have been very clear from both the governments that we want to resolve the areas of differences and the disputes that are there between the two states.
Keeping in mind the prolonged border issues among Assam and Nagaland, the Nagaland Assembly in their 3-day-long session addressed the issue by unanimously passing a 3-point resolution after thorough deliberation. The resolution was moved by Chief Minister Neiphiu Rio and seconded by Opposition Leader T.R. Zilliang. The resolution stated that a select committee of the House be constituted to examine all aspects of the Assam-Nagaland border issue and submit its report within a period of 3 months. Meanwhile, the House resolved to request the Union Home Minister to ensure maintenance of status quo in letter and in spirit for a disputed area till the issue is resolved. The Khel Ratna Award has been renamed as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. Prime Minister Narendra Modi said the decision was taken following a number of requests from citizens across the country to rename it. In a series of tweets today, Modi said Major Dhyan Chand was among India's foremost sportspersons who brought honour and pride for India. He said it is befitting that the nation's highest sporting honour will be named after Major Dhyan Chand. And now from the Olympics. Indian grappler Bajrang Punia lost his semi-final match 5-12 against Haji Aliyev of Azerbaijan. However, Punia will fight for the bronze medal tomorrow. Seema Bisla lost her first match against Sarah Hamdi of Tunisia in the pre-quarterfinals of women's freestyle 50 kg category. Indian golfer Aditi Ashok carded a 3-67 in the third round of women's individual stroke play to hold on to the second position and keep the spirits high for a medal. Meanwhile, in athletics, Priyanka Goswami stood 17 and Bhavna Jatt 32 in 20-kilometer race walk. However, Indian women's hockey team lost the bronze medal match 3-4 to Great Britain. The Textile Ministry will celebrate the 7th National Handloom Day tomorrow. An initiative to establish 3 handloom craft villages with Mohpara village of Golaghat district in Assam being one has been taken. The other 2 being Kovalam in Thiruvananthapuram, Kerala and Kanihama Budgam in Srinagar. These are being set up by the ministry in collaboration with the state governments. The aim behind setting up the craft villages is to provide additional attraction for the domestic and international tourists and promote the well-known handloom and handcraft products of the region. Meanwhile, the handloom weaving community will also be honoured for their contribution in the socio-economic development of the country. In the COVID update from the country, more than 49 crore 53 lakh COVID vaccine doses have been administered so far under the nationwide vaccination drive. Meanwhile, as per the Union Health Ministry data, the COVID recovery rate stands at 97.36%, with over 41,000 patients recovering in the last 24 hours. Till date, more than 3 crore 10 lakh people have recovered in the country. However, the active caseload is currently recorded at over 4 lakh 14,000. Meanwhile, with 464 deaths being reported in the last 24 hours, the total death toll in the country has mounted to 4,26,754. In the COVID scenario in the northeast, Arunachal Pradesh reported a caseload of 3,226 active cases, followed by 45,979 discharged cases. The dead account for 236. Assam has 10,677 active cases, while the released cases topped at 5,54,204. Tally for the dead is 5,343. Manipur records 8,686 active cases, 91,847 discharged cases. The death toll is 1,614. Saddled with 5,574 active cases, Meghalaya has a caseload of 60,885 cured cases. The dead account for 1,133. In Mizoram, there are 13,101 active cases, even as 29,547 were discharged. The dead tallied at 160. Burdened with 1,345 active cases, Nagaland has 26,409 cured cases, while the dead account for 581. Sikkim has 3,370 active cases, followed by 23,805 released cases. The death toll is 351. Finally, Tripura records 2,766 active cases, 76,249 discharge cases, while the dead numbered at 762. With an aim to vaccinate and provide medical facilities to the underprivileged and high-risk population of Tamenglong, the 44 Assam Rifles under the aegis of Headquarter 22 Sect East organized the vaccination cum medical camp for the workers of the road construction company in Tamenglong. Underprivileged construction workers are at a higher risk of COVID infection as they work in groups and have come from different parts of the country. Meanwhile, the medical staff of the battalion administered COVID vaccine to 150 beneficiaries and examined over 95 workers and distributed general medicines to them. The battalion also organized a COVID awareness campaign cum sanitization drive at the construction camp site of the workers. In cricket, on the third day of first test match, India was 191 for 5 wickets against England in their first innings when the last report came in. The play was delayed due to rain. The visitors resumed their first innings at the overnight score of 125 for 4 against England in the opening cricket test of the 5-match series. England were all out for 183 runs in their first innings on day 1 at Trent Bridge in Nottingham yesterday. In the recent months, a number of earthquake shocks and tremors have been felt across the northeast region. Following this, the National Seismological Center organized a webinar to sensitize the people about the present earthquake scenario. Dr. O.P. Mishra, scientist, National Seismological Center, shared the major facts about earthquakes and also updated about the initiatives taken by NSC for the northeast region. Dr. Mishra said that the target is to build earthquake risk resilience by adopting building design codes and are simultaneously mapping seismic microzones in the region as done in Guwahati and Sikkim. Now, before we end the news, the headlines once again. Prime Minister interacts with heads of Indian missions abroad and stakeholders in the commerce sector. Meghalaya government decide to resolve border differences in phase-wise manner. Khel Ratna Award renamed as Major Dhyan Chand Khel Ratna Award. In Tokyo Olympics, Indian grappler Bajrang Punia loses semi-finals to fight for bronze tomorrow. And National Handloom Day to be celebrated tomorrow. Mohapara village of Assam to be set up as craft village. And that brings us to the end of this evening's bulletin. Thank you for tuning in. Namaskar.